It's finally here! This is the X7. The TV has been a long time coming. It's the latest Sony mid-range 4K Smart TV set with support from 10-bit HDR, Dolby Digital, and it's available from 43 to 65 screen size. This review relates to the 55-inch version in the X70 lineup, a medium size that makes it perfect for almost any room these days. The 55X70-55 delivers the kind of picture quality we have come to expect from Sony, with vivid colors from virtually any side. While it might have only basic Sony Smart TV apps, it will be easy to use if you like to watch YouTube or Netflix in the office.
Stay alive, I'm getting help! Pull me up! You're too heavy!
I only weigh 82 pounds! Save Bandit!
It looks elegant in its metallic frame finish, black ultra-thin profile. The shiny blessed bezeled screen perches easily enough on the two thin V-shaped ice skate feet, which sadly doesn't have built-in cable management anymore. Otherwise they feel solid and match nicely with the bottom edge of the panel. Without the stand, the X70 looks much like any other Sony mid-range models. There is a modern thin bezel with Sony logo at the bottom of the screen. It's not exactly super slim like the high-end models, but it still looks thin enough to be mounted on the wall. Around the back, the clean modern rear of the panel is covered with classic matte plastic with one glossy line, and as you can see, most connections are on the right side. The Sony has fairly typical array of connections that include 3 HDMI and whopping 3 USB, one composite optical and headphone socket, which is very usable if you are still using old 3.5mm headphones. It is nice that they try to install one HDMI and audio port differently. As usually, antenna input still doesn't like fat connectors. But if you improvise like Ace, there can be enough space. On the back side of screen you will find wall mount, and on the right side 3 buttons for functions like power inputs and menu selection. The remote control offers timeless classic design with big buttons. Sony got slightly improved layout which improved the ease of use. Some will mourn the lack of voice button, but it still provides quick access to the bulk of Smart TV function, and it's quick with shortcuts to inputs, media control. You also have some special apps buttons. So if you like to skip or forward movies a lot, you can use it very easily with many control buttons. But pressing the central up and down dial, it has a good placement to control everything very quickly. The buttons otherwise feel very comfortable and they are nice to press. So let's start at Sony Linux engine. 4 of 3 people will tell you that the setup is quick. You just need to choose the language, location, connections and complete the channel search. Sony did revamp its Linux home menu on the X7 series, so you now have a faster menu with icons similar to the Android. In general, Linux is getting better with each new version, but the difference is still small, and the list of apps on the Linux Smart TV is still limited in comparison with Android TV, but it still supports many popular Smart TV apps. Of course, the Disney or IP apps are still missing, which is disappointing but a little surprise. The welcome screen is awesome and very similar to the Android. Sony really continues to improve its Linux Smart TV platform, offering a more easy navigation. The menus work fine and important functions like switching inputs and access to the settings is easily accomplished with only a few button presses.
This blood here is going to be very useful.
Now let's take a closer look at the video apps if you want to get the best out of the 4K. The X7 brings with it next generation of YouTube. The big new addition here is faster menus. Netflix works quickly and without a lag, and important settings are all easily accessible.
Come back never!
Sony's strongest point is most certainly its well-calibrated screen. The picture looks very nice in the bright room, especially colors. They were quite impressive even when the X7 was fed with low-quality sources like HD TV channels.
Richard, love is not a switch. You can't just turn it off. You can't work side by side with her and not feel anything.
High contrast and good viewing angle quality turn out to be one of this set's biggest highlights. The sharpness of 4K image is fairly controlled, motion processing is okay, and it's perfectly fine for movies or games. Of course, if you want the fastest affordable TV for Sony, I would still recommend the 85 series, which have the best motion for the price from Sony, but it's much more expensive. When it comes to the picture mode, Sony included many different video preset modes, including HDR, Vivid, Cinema and Sport game setting. The TV is factory set to the safe standard mode, so if you want the best picture profile you will need to switch either to Vivid or Advanced mode for more HDR settings. But if you want calibrated realistic colors, I'm going to recommend a Cinema profile. The use of direct LED screen meant that there are very powerful vibrant colors and viewing angles were wider than on average VA panel TVs. As you can see here, the black levels on the X7 aren't perfect in a dark room, but it was still able to deliver a very good overall picture in a dimly lit room. The X7 does a lot right when it comes to HDR performance, with detailed colors that are reasonably accurate. It doesn't take long to find the advantages of this Sony TV. Its HDR color saturation is excellent, but some scenes of course just can get very bright at 380 nits in the brightly lit room. The lack of peak luminance put it behind the more expensive 85 series with more than 600 nits. The built-in USB media player plays all popular video formats with subtitles. It doesn't have a lot of options, but basic options are here. The picture processing is fine and free of noise when watching HD movies. The X7 includes a web browser which remains intuitive and easy to use. Sony has added handy quick shortcuts that can be accessed. It includes all favorite and history settings, as well as quick tabs. There is really not much else one could ask for at this level, mostly. Like all Sony TVs, it has built-in game mode, so if you are a gamer you can easily connect PlayStation or PC. It's highly responsive too. The input lag is around 15 milliseconds. It is much faster than an average TVs with 30 to 50 milliseconds. With two standard speakers, the sound on this TV, despite its slim proportions, sounds good. Despite being only two, these speakers sternly churned out 20 watts and they provide a greater sense of stereo separation. When testing various music videos, I found the X7 delivered clear and loud audio. There are a few audio options to try out if you want the best sound for music or movies. The high and the mid-range is well represented, while bass effects are projected quite well and without any distortion. The Sony X7 proves to be a capable 4K Smart TV with attractive design, and you will be delighted by its app speed performance. The picture is solid at bright levels, and it does a remarkably good job in the terms of picture quality, for details, for colors, and RGB for contrast too. In the terms of user experience, the Sony X7 leaves little to be desired unless you want Android apps or voice control. All TVs at this end of the market have limitations that are hard to overlook, whether that is poor viewing angles or lazy motion processing. Although X7 doesn't have the fastest processing, it certainly provides commendable system and screen performance, and viewing angle actually turn out to be good. Despite being a little more expensive than some mid-range rivals, the X7 is still an easy choice if you want the simple and responsive 4K Smart TV. If you want to know more, check out my TV comparison list. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you have any question, let me know. Thank you and see you soon!